someone or something crawling around out here.
Did you see what it was? Was it a person or an animal or?
I can't tell. All I know is that my sensor light came on and I just happened to glimpse and see this thing running across the yard. A good-sized man or something looks like a man. I don't know what it was, just that it ran across the yard.
Okay. You've had problems in the neighborhood before?
Yeah, my dog was killed here just recently. I don't know what it was, whatever it is, it's running. I couldn't catch it if I was going to chase it, but whatever it was standing up. I'm out here looking through the window now and I don't see anything. I don't want to go outside. Jesus Christ, you better...
Sure.
Dio!
Hello?
Get somebody out here.
What's going on now, sir?
That son of a bitch is about 6'9", I don't know.
Do you see him now, sir?
Yes.
You're listening to Paranormal 411. Coming to you live from an undisclosed location deep within the Appalachian Mountains. Bringing you the unknown with your hosts David Reagan and Jason Scott. Paranormal 411. All right, welcome to the show.
Welcome, everybody. How you doing, Jason?
Pretty good.
Doing good?
Yeah.
A pretty good week?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I'm feeling better, than I was last week.
That's good.
I'm not all, chewing on this, having to mute my mic and stuff. So I feel a lot better. I think we're going to have a good show tonight.
Yeah, we have a good show every night.
Oh, we do. Yes. We've got Eddie from Legends and Lore Pizza. Woo! In on the chat room. Jeff Reagan from Catalyst is here.
Oh, yeah. We're trying to get Bird Dog in there, too.
Bird Dog's going to get in there here in a minute. We're going to have a good show tonight. Aren't we, Jason?
Yeah.
Like Jason said, though, we always have a good show. Remember, we are live on Spreaker and on Podbean. You could also come over to our website, paranormal411.org. Sign up, become a member. It's free to become a member. We do have a paid membership, but the regular membership will get you in and chatting with us and everything too. And we want to thank all of our premium members. We appreciate every single one of you. And we have a new premium member tonight. Eddie, Legends and Lore Pizza. I just went to eat there today. It was good stuff, man. Ooh. I tell you, that's a great place to go.
It is.
We're going to have him on some night.
I went last week.
What'd you have?
Area 51.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was good.
Oh, yeah.
I like their wings the best.
Oh, man, they've got some big wings. That's what we had tonight.
He didn't have them when I was there.
He's got some in now. Boy, they're good. They have the best wings. You could go.
They are
anywhere. You don't get.
Wings. You don't get these little Cornish hen wings. These are big old rooster steroid wings.
These things been lifting some weights before they get cooked up.
Check him out. He's over in Madisonville. Legends and Lore Pizza.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, if you like the paranormal and stuff, ask him some questions too. He'll usually come out and talk to you for a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
So he's a pretty good guy. And, but what else was we talking about, Jason?
I don't know. I know we're going to do the show on Nibiru, the 12th planet.
Oh, yeah. It's been a while since we've talked about Nibiru and
the Nephilim.
Yeah.
The Annunaki.
Zachariah Sitchin.
Yeah.
The man.
Although we did do a special back in 2012 on December 31st about Nibiru coming in and taking us out in the Mayan calendar. Oh, yeah. It was a good show.
That was a good show.
We had a bunch of people scared, didn't we?
I think we had we did a 3-hour show that night, didn't we?
Yeah.
It was pretty good. Yeah, it was always a great topic. Ah, Roy's in the house. Look at that. Jeff says, what show?
Can you hear us, Jeff?
Can you hear? Can you hear us? Hello? Hello, Governor. Are we talking?
Oh, Jeff's having a show too, remember?
Oh, yeah. What is it? It is April 15th. Uh-oh. Roy says he's in the room. Trouble's here.
Trouble's here. Yeah, Catalyst is going to be in Knoxville
Yes.
in April at the Open Chord.
Yes, I think it's April 15th, I think.
Yeah.
But we're going to post it up on our Facebook page and, or at least link it to our Facebook page too. Because we're definitely going to be there. If you want to listen to some good live music, it's going to be awesome.
Hey, but you know what we got to do right now?
What's that?
We got to do a little weird news. We used to do weird news. We're going to do This Day in History with David Reagan.
All right. So today is March 25th, 2022. So on this day in 1306, Robert the Bruce, crowned Scottish king. This day in 1306 freed Scotland from English rule, winning the decisive battle of Bannockburn in 1314 and confirming Scottish independence in the Treaty of Northampton. What do you think about that? So on this day in 1655, I might get my numbers right here in a minute. In 1655, Dutch mathematician and astronomer Christian Huygens discovered Titan, the largest moon of Saturn. What do you think about that?
Oh, yeah.
Pretty cool, right? And also on this day in 1965, Martin Luther King Jr. and other civil rights activists completed their march from Selma to Montgomery, Alabama. On 2 previous occasions, they had been halted by the local police. Wow.
Well,
And those are just a few things that happened on this day in history.
yeah, I'm sure a lot of other things.
There was a lot of other things.
Probably everything happened.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. So,
The discovery of Nibiru wasn't one of them, though. I looked.
Nibiru. We're going to take a small, quick break so we can get the bills paid.
Cha-ching.
It helps a little bit.
It does.
And then when we come back, we'll get right into Nibiru.
Oh, man, it's going to be great.
Yes.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
So, remember, this is Paranormal 411. Hosts are Jason and David. And we'll be back right after this quick break.
In a world on the edge of oblivion, go to paranormal411.org for all of your paranormal, extraterrestrial, and cryptid needs.
Thanks for listening to the show. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter at Paranormal 411. Join us on the website at paranormal411.org. It's free to sign up and become a member. All of our upcoming shows are on the guest and events page. You can also listen to past shows on the website as well. And if you like the show and want to support us, you can do that by becoming a premium member for only $2 a month. Thanks for listening to Paranormal 411. Join us.
This is Jeff Reagan of the band Catalyst. Visit Paranormal 411. Click on our link on the right-hand side to listen to or purchase any of our albums on BandLab.
right, we're back from that. It's a medium-sized break.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, doing a little chatting in the chat room.
Love the chatting in the chat room. Hello, everybody.
Well, hello.
Hope everybody's having fun.
All right, so we'll get started with the show. What do you think about Nibiru, David?
Well, this is something that I've spent a lot of time on back in the day. I've read a lot of Zachariah Sitchin's books back in high school, and the 12th Planet and Stairway to Heaven and all these books. And so, I really admire Zachariah Sitchin a lot, and him putting himself forward to talk about all this stuff. And today even people want to talk bad about him, but I think his work stands for itself, though.
They say he wasn't a translator. He didn't know what he was talking about, but
it's really funny though, because, there's a lot of things that he said that was in those tablets that came to pass. Mm-hmm. Like when they were sent the probe out to see Uranus, not Uranus, but to see Uranus, he told them that those tablets said that it was a blue planet. Yeah. A blue-green kind of planet. And they was like, oh, this guy don't know. And then what happens when we get there? We find out what color it is. It's a green, bluish green kind of planet. And, it had rings around it, too. He even told them it had rings around it.
Yep.
Sounds to me like he knew what he was talking about. I don't know.
Yeah, I've got a few of his books, too, and I think he was a wise man.
I think so.
A lot of what he's talking about and a lot of what happened back in the Sumerian times, you can find in the Bible too.
Yes. The Bible mirrors what
the
tablets say.
So for people that don't know what we're talking about, Nibiru in Sumerian is the 12th planet. From the text, there was a description that our creators came from Nibiru and discovered this planet. They came to mine for gold
400,000 years ago.
Yeah, 400 and something thousand years ago.
Yep. And what's funny, and not to get off on a tangent real quick, but what's really funny about that is that people were like, oh, well, there hasn't been bipedal people or anything like that on this planet that far back or anything, and our skeletal records don't show anything like that. But they have found, as glacials and stuff has moved away and things like that, they've actually uncovered mines with tools still sitting outside of these mines that go straight down into the earth, and they've recorded them at over 100,000 years old.
Yep.
But yet you don't want to say that there was upright walking man doing that. Well, then what the heck was doing it? Worms? I mean,
the ant people.
The ant people, yeah. I think they were so technologically advanced they didn't need to mine.
Yeah.
But, that's another story. We'll talk about the Hopis.
So this planet is supposed to enter our solar system every 36,000 years or 3,600 years.
Yes.
And the texts also say that they were known as the Nephilim. And they had colonized Earth, like David said, 400,000 years ago. And the Bible mentions that too, that this race, but they call them sons of God.
Yes.
So, there's a connection there. It says the planet Nibiru was suffering as its atmosphere was eroding. Then they came to Earth in order to mine minerals to help repair their atmosphere. And this was done in the Middle East and that's why we find the Great Pyramid and adjacent pyramids in a line with constellations in our solar system. They created portals on Earth, which are highly magnetic areas, to send their gold and minerals back to Nibiru. What do you think?
I believe it.
There's something to it. Maybe it all ain't exactly right, but I'd say most of it is.
You know, one thing that I really like about Zachariah Sitchin in his books was how he said that the reason that they knew so much about Nibiru and the cycle of Nibiru around the planets, all the planets in the solar system, and everything like that, the orbits of the solar system, this whole 9 yards, because he said that they had what was, in essence, like a space museum where people could go and visit and be taught where it is that the Nephilim came from and how they were created, the whole 9 yards. And so it wasn't, nothing was kept from them as far as that goes, you know.
No.
And it's, to me, it's just funny because we say that it's made up. It's made up. It's not real.
So
Don't believe everything you're told.
here's something that I think's very interesting
Yeah.
about the whole story is how the human race was created.
Yes. Now, how does ancient man know about gene splicing and artificial inseminations and all of that stuff? That's what I want to know.
I have no idea. I think,
They knew about the double helix of the DNA.
yeah. And they needed workers to mine for gold.
That's what we all were actually
We're all
created for.
hybrid.
We were all slaves.
Yeah.
Every one of us. We were all built as slaves. Plain and simple.
So, after we were created, got their gold for them. The leaders, or the alien leaders, or the gods, whichever one you want to call them. If you're a Christian, the God. If you're something else, alien or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't like the interbreeding that came along with all this and chose not to warn humankind about the impending doom on Nibiru in 13,000 BC that would eventually cause the Great Flood here on Earth.
Well, you know, and that coincides with what happened about 13,000 years ago.
Yep. The Great Flood.
The Younger Dryas.
What's that?
That's where we actually plunged deeper into the Ice Age. We was actually starting to come out of the Ice Age.
Oh, yeah.
We plunged deeper into the Ice Age. And the floods happened at that time because some science is starting to come up with this, but others have speculated way earlier and are actually starting to find out that it's true. But sometime during that time, these huge meteors or rocks or whatever started bombarding Earth. Well, one hit the North American ice caps. Some hit the North American ice caps. Some hit the European ice caps. And what happened? With a bigger than like 500 thermonuclear bombs, flash melted all the ice. Well, where does it have to go? It runs somewhere. It floods.
Yeah.
And that's where they said that a lot of the fauna and flora went missing because during that time it flooded them out. It killed them. Yeah. Sorry to get off on tangents here. This is a very fascinating subject for me. And I like to delve deep.
Yeah. So the Great Flood was caused by Nibiru.
Well, if you place it at 13,000 years, it fits.
Oh yeah. So one of these Annunaki or aliens or whatever you want to call them, they decided they want to inform Noah, or was it Gilgamesh, about this impending flood so he could save himself and his family.
Yep.
And what do you think about all that? You think that goes together?
I think it does. I really do. And it's just funny how, even the Bible talks about the Noah's flood and stuff like that. Well, every race on the planet almost has a flood story. Native Americans have a flood story. So the flood story, I don't think it was just one family that survived it, but I think there's quite a bit of survivors from it, of course, because there's still diversity that there is on this planet. But I do believe, in some of the stories, because someone took pity on humankind and saved them.
Yeah.
From the doom of the flood.
So NASA, they've confirmed that there is a something out there, another planet.
Yes. Well, they've confirmed. If everybody would look up in the chat room there and some of the pictures that we've posted earlier, I've got some Voyager pictures. I think it may be one of the last pictures that I posted up there. No, I think it was the last picture. If you scroll way up, it's the one just before the black picture. It's that one. No, I'm sorry. That one's the Washington Post talking about a new heavenly body that was discovered. Let's see. Kepler 413b just shows that there is binary systems in this area. And then the one at the very top, it's right there. I did it 59 minutes ago. And if you see it, it's actually showing when we sent out probe and what it's shown. And it shows out there at like 50,000 miles or something like that, a dwarf star. And that's actually off the NASA website. So you could actually find that in NASA. So they've just not told nobody, but we are part of a binary system. And I think they're starting to find out that most systems are binary systems. So
yeah,
pretty neat. Pretty neat. I know Eddie really likes this talking about this stuff. Him and I've had a couple conversations about this. He's been up on a lot of the newer stuff that they're talking about, which is kind of cool.
What are they talking about? I haven't heard.
I think there's some people who are actually starting to get pictures of something coming in behind the sun and some stuff.
Yeah, I've seen that picture.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's in front. It's coming at the bottom of it or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy, right?
It is.
So the return of Nibiru.
In 2002, the 12th planet physically entered into our solar system, falling in line with Sitchin's 12th planet dialogue. After entering in 2002, Nibiru went on to influence the orbits of the planets in our system, changing their axis and poles along the way. Did you hear anything about that when that happened?
One thing that I have heard about that I find a little fascinating is, and this is something that NASA's not really talking about, that all of the planets in our solar system are warming. They're all warming up. Could this be because of a binary star coming through too? because Nibiru is supposed to be part of a binary star system.
Yeah.
You know, our sun plus the sun that Nibiru itself is also revolving around. That's coming through our solar system.
Well, I know that, you know, it can influence a lot of things, like volcanoes.
Yep.
I could warm up the planet.
Yeah.
So it could be. I reckon in 2002 it passed close enough to the Earth that the oceans were messed up for several years, eventually leading to tsunamis and all kinds of stuff. Volcanoes, they were awakening. The climate and the Earth's axis, which slowly moves. It altered the position of the physical and magnetic poles.
Yeah, we're way off our physical magnetic pole. They're like miles apart now.
The planet's orbit came closer to the Earth's south pole and the sun, and was not visible from Earth. But in late 2012, its orbit, which was 35 relative to the solar equator plane, proved to be quite visible, and many pictures and videos were posted online. So, that's where all these pictures come from.
Mm-hmm. Questioning the new star in our skies, huh?
Yeah.
What's that?
Oh. The short answer was because of NASA. They decided to question the true orbit and return of Nibiru to our solar system. The U.S. government urged them that it was required that they deny the existence of Nibiru in order to not cause widespread panic throughout the world.
I could see that.
Yeah, that happens a lot. NASA then prepared a very well-built simulation that projected the orbit of Nibiru, transformed the simulation in a video, and sneak released on the internet. The simulation done by NASA computers presented visually not only the displacement of Nibiru in its orbit, but also orbits of all the planets in the solar system. So it's big enough to affect everything.
Yeah. Well, they say that it's, it's the size of, was it bigger than Jupiter or bigger than Saturn? I think that's what they said. Bigger than Saturn. So
it's 65,000 times or 6,500 times larger than Earth.
Yeah. 5 times larger than Jupiter. That's big. That's a big planet. I'm gonna post this link right here in the chat room too, so you guys could look at that if you want to. It's the simulation that was done by NASA, so you could see that NASA's video.
NASA's video.
That's it. So the true orbit of Nibiru. So Nibiru, by all definitions, concepts, and research scholars in the field, is a red or brown dwarf star that carries along with it 7 planets orbiting around each other. Therefore, it is a mini solar system. Nibiru is close to 5 times that of Jupiter, so 6,500 times larger than Earth. That's crazy. That's just huge.
Mm-hmm.
So with that gigantic size, it is a very strong gravitational pull, and it influences our oceans and all magnetic fields. That's crazy, huh? It says in 2011, when Nibiru approached the sun, it began forcefully pulling at the sun's core. The core of the sun is only 65 times that of Nibiru, Thus, the solar activity in relation to explosions and solar storms has increased so much that the Maximo Solar started in 2011 and has not stopped until 2014. The emissions are ultraviolet solar radiation, and currently at 15, the normal is between 9 and 10 units. And this was supposedly caused by the approach of Nibiru towards the sun. That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Just let everybody know that everything in the chat room stays up for 3 hours before it goes away. So you could come back and watch it if you don't want to watch it at this point. Go ahead.
Well,
I like where you're going with it.
Well, we've talked about Nibiru, what it was, where it come from, is it real? Let's talk about the Annunaki. They were actual deities, and their names come from the old god of the sky, Anu. But when you look deeper into the Sumerian tablets, you notice that there's a relationship between the Bible and what these ancient cultures believed in. When you begin to look deep into the Bible, you'll see that there's some similarities that often go overlooked, by a lot of people.
Yeah.
The Sumerian tablets were written by the Sumerians. This was their society, invented writing, and had advanced knowledge of mathematics, science, astronomy.
They created 365 for the circle.
Yes.
Degrees. And 0, if I'm not mistaken, which is huge to have a 0.
According to the tablets, the Anunnaki were angels. According to the Sumerian tablets. These were people that were advanced technologically.
I believe that.
And they were here on Earth around 8200 BC in the Middle East.
Where a lot of people, and this is what Zechariah Sitchin also talks about a lot too, is where a lot of people believe that they were gods or divine or whatever. It was because of their long lifespan. I think each one of these beings lived like a couple 100,000 years or something like that. Yeah. So to people, they would seem to never age and never die. But they did. They did have a lifespan. And in the writings, you also find out that they waged war on each other. So they could die too.
Yeah.
But go ahead. I'm sorry. I keep interrupting you.
Oh, you're fine. Ninil and Enlil were the center of the stories. Ninil was the goddess that ruled over the land, and Enlil was her husband, the god of war. The god of war, Ninurta, was the son of Enlil and Ninil. I can't say these words. So these gods were very similar to the ones you know from Greece, ancient Greece, and Rome. And this is the first time that we hear about the Garden of Eden, too. This is the same Eden that we know from the Bible. Now, just these things are so close together, it's just crazy.
Well, a lot of people refuse to see that part of it.
So within the tablets, Ninlil asked the Council of Seven to create what is called Eden. A heavenly garden. Now, where do we hear that from?
Yep. The Bible.
Yes, the Bible.
Yep.
The Anunnaki were also tied to the Watchers, which are found in the Book of Enoch. Not surprisingly, the Watchers were in charge of watching over Eden. But we don't see the Book of Enoch a lot.
No, not a lot of people even talk about the Book of Enoch either. But it's a pretty fascinating book. I've read through it, and it's pretty neat.
They just didn't make it into the Bible.
Well, I mean, it didn't go along with what they was preaching, so.
What do you think? Think we'll take a quick break?
We can. I've got one set up for us.
All right.
So, I guess we're going to take us a quick break. Oh, it is that time, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
And remember, come back. We're talking about the Annunaki, the Nephilim, and all of this great stuff. And if you have any questions, definitely write it in the chat room. We'll read it and try to answer any questions. Or if you have anything to add, we'd love to have someone add something to what we're talking about. Or give us another direction to move on into. We'll definitely take it, won't we, Jason?
Oh, yeah.
But we'll come back. So you are listening to Paranormal 411. Your hosts are Jason and David. And we shall return right after these quick messages.
This is Jeff Reagan of the band Catalyst. Visit Paranormal 411. Click on our link on the right-hand side to listen to or purchase any of our albums on BandLab.
Thanks for listening to the show. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter at Paranormal 411. Join us on the website at paranormal411.org. It's free to sign up and become a member. All of our upcoming shows are on the guest and events page. You can also listen to past shows on the website as well. And if you like the show and want to support us, you can do that by becoming a premium member for only $2 a month. Thanks for listening to Paranormal 411. Join us.
In a world on the edge of oblivion, go to paranormal411.org for all of your paranormal, extraterrestrial, and cryptid needs.
Woo.
Right.
That was good. Nice little break. Hope everybody got time to go use the bathroom and do whatever you needed to do.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. Remember, you're listening to Paranormal 411. Hosts are Jason and David. Tonight we are talking about what, Jason? Nibiru.
Planet X.
Annunaki. Some Zachariah Sitchin.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Because this is just this is a very fascinating topic. So, something that as a young man,
As a young man.
I was very interested in, and just interested me. I found it pretty fascinating, because at the time I was reading Zachariah Sitchin's books, and then I was, also reading Chariots of the Gods and all these other books and piecing things together on my own, trying to figure it out. You could ask Jeff in the chat room. He remembers me talking about this crap forever. He's probably like, there's a reason you got a show now so you can talk about this crap.
Yeah, why are you talking about this stuff?
I love it. Come on, we love it, Jason. That's why we talk about it.
So you read The 12th Planet?
Yes.
It was published in 1976.
That was a year after I was born.
And it's one of the most popular books that he wrote.
It was a good book. The 12th Planet, Stairway to Heaven. Yes.
It's his theory on mining and of mankind.
And it's a pretty cool theory.
Yeah.
It really is.
Which, it's all based on Sumerian text. And they say that a 12th member of our solar system, if you include the sun,
Yes.
the moon, and the Pluto,
Yep.
that would be 12. It has an independent, elongated elliptical orbit, which passes through the planet Mars and Jupiter every 3,600 years.
Yes.
And it was from this planet that the advanced civilization of, the Anunnakis, a term that literally means those who from heaven to earth came.
Yep.
They came to Earth about 445,000 years ago. And there's really evidence, they mined in Africa.
Yes.
And there's temples that they found in Africa.
Yep. And there's also still mines that they have found in Africa that they have dated over 100,000 years old.
Yeah. So their visit to Earth wasn't a tourist expedition.
Nope.
They wasn't here to kidnap us because we wasn't invented yet, right?
Not according to the Sumerian text. That's right. According to the Sumerian text,
they just wanted the gold. They wanted the booty.
I want my gold. Don't touch my booty. Well, it's because they're planet needed it. They seeded it into the atmosphere. And it's funny because our own scientists have said that is something that we could actually do.
Yeah. Well, they tried to, according to the tablets and the text, they tried to get it from the water first, from the Persian Gulf. But it would take a long time. So they kind of give up on that and done the mining in South Africa, Southern Africa. And it was known to host an extensive amount of gold deposits. I wonder if they scanned the earth.
Maybe.
Were they that advanced? Well, if they can travel, well, did they travel that far in ships, or was it their planet coming through and they just hopped off?
I think that they didn't have to travel that far. Yeah, I think their planet was coming through, and it was like us, if we was going to go to Mars, we do it at the minimum and jump off and get there in a quicker time. So I think that's how it was done. And I think that a lot of the technology that you see, or you hear about from the ancients, and then you see in the gold flyers that were found in South America, Giorgio Tsoukalos wears that pendant of one.
Yeah.
You also see in the Saqqara bird of Egypt, and in Tikal, where they have that stone where that guy's got his foot cocked backwards, and he looks like he's doing controls, and he's got the little tubes up his nose and all that stuff, and the fire coming out of the bottom. So it almost looks like...
That was Mayan, wasn't it?
Mayan. So it almost looks like maybe at that time, so you're talking 400,000 years ago, but at that time they may have had 20th century type technology, maybe.
Yeah.
But were advanced in other areas. I mean, they had long lifespans. They definitely had, genetic engineering down.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can't say they had it down perfectly because it wasn't a one and done thing, which I think we'll talk about here in a minute. It wasn't that they said, oh, we're just going to make these creatures and we're going to use our DNA and this bipedal thing that's on Earth's DNA. And some people will think and will say that is possibly Bigfoot DNA that was used.
Maybe.
Because it was a bipedal humanoid, upright walking creature that was on this earth at that time. Some people will say that is a possibility. And we are saying that all of this is possibility, and it is all written on 5,000-6,000 year old tablets. So
yeah, I mean, we're not saying it's completely true.
Well,
it looks true.
Yeah, we're saying that in the realm of possibilities, this is something that is very possible. How's that?
For 1,000 years or more, they got gold from South Africa.
Yep.
Zimbabwe.
Mozambique.
Yeah.
Malawi. And Tanzania.
Tanzania.
Yep.
But 300,000 years ago, the Annunaki assigned to the African mines mutinied over their dissatisfaction with their working conditions.
Yep. They sure did.
That's what we do today.
Mm-hmm.
We strike.
Well, they were like, and this is what Zacharias Sitchin said too. He said that they were like, we're smart beings. Why are we doing the tooling and the tooling in the fields and going down and digging this stuff and doing all that stuff? We need something else to do it.
We need a new breed of miners.
That's right. We need a controlled breed.
Yes. So guess what? The chief scientist, Inky, I've heard his name a lot. And the chief medical officer, you can say that one.
Well.
Ninhursag of the Annunaki used genetic manipulation and in vitro fertilization techniques to create
primitive workers.
That's right.
We're the first Homo sapiens.
Sounds plausible.
You know, everybody, what's funny is everybody says, well, there's a missing link out there.
Well, here's the connection. What are they made in likeness of?
Right. And in the tablets, it says that and it's funny because they convened together. And a lot of people who know the Bible will recognize this verse. But this is older than the Bible and older than everything else. And they convened together and decided to create man in their image.
Our image.
Yeah. And it was plural.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't think it just happened overnight.
No, it didn't. Yeah. It was definitely, it didn't.
In the split
yeah.
twinkling of an eye, whatever.
Well, there was, even in the text, it talked about those setbacks. Like they couldn't get it to take in vitro fertilization and all that stuff. They couldn't get it to take.
Yeah, I think it was through trial and error.
Yep.
And Inky's desired result was finally reached. Once perfected, the mass production took off.
Can you believe it? So we were mass produced at one point.
But I mean, we were produced in a way that was natural, and it's how we're produced today.
Yes.
Through birth.
Yes.
Because they would take through that vitro whatever fertilization, they would take
we do it today still.
Yeah, they would take the genes
embryos
from the male, put it in a female egg.
Yep.
And she would have a baby.
Yes.
However, production could not continue indefinitely.
That's right.
I mean, and this new breed of primitive man was given the ability to what?
To procreate. And that is something else too that was given to man.
Yep.
Because at first they did not give man that because they was afraid that they would just go wild and procreate and outnumber them. But at one point they were finally given the ability to do it. Mm-hmm. So we were all sterile at one point.
Oh. I was just thinking of sterile. According to Sitchin, the Anunnaki eventually decided to leave the Earth about 6,000 years ago. He said that the ancient Sumerian inscription report that the human civilization in Sumer, Mesopotamia, was set up under the guidance of the Anunnaki gods and human kingship, was inaugurated to provide intermediaries between mankind and the Anunnaki.
Now, stop right there, right? So then that shows you where the kingships
came in,
came into, and also started saying that their divinity. They were divinely placed in those positions to talk to the gods for the people. And it said it in the tablets.
Yeah. That's what it says, as we're told.
So, I mean, I think that it, again, it's better than a story.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't
Maybe
think
that's
that
how the story got confused or whatever. They didn't know how to explain what was happening. You reckon?
I think so. And I think everybody tried to put their spin on it once they got other religions started up and everything else. And that's how you get these different spins placed on this, to see,
What's people in chat room saying?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Yep.
Are they still
Roy
there?
says that they nominate them for both for new slave miners. I think he's nominating Biden and Fauci for slave miners.
Oh, Lord.
Uh-oh. Maybe. I think that could be arranged in their next life.
Oh, yeah.
So, the Nephilim themselves, were they fallen angels? Were they children of fallen angels? Were they human? What do you think? Any discussions about the Nephilim is going to with controversy.
A lot of the text says that they're the sons of God, right? Or was that, the sons of God.
Yeah.
Which came down, interbred with the Nephilim is probably the young Annunnakis that gave, for the vitro.
Mm-hmm.
They bred with the human.
The females.
I don't know. I'm confused. It's all crazy. What do you think?
Well, what does the word Nephilim mean? So, according to the Brown Driver Briggs lexicon, the word Nephilim translates to giants. So, the idea of Nephilim as giants seems to be just about the only thing most scholars agree on. Unfortunately, the etymology of the word is complicated and quite dubious. Nobody is totally sure of the root word, but it may be derived from Hebrew. Verbal root, and I'm going to probably butcher the hell out of this, but it's phi for fall. So what does that indicate about the Nephilim? So no one's sure. Anglican cleric Robert Baker asserted it should be interpreted as those that cause others to fall down. This could be a literal giant reference or a figurative demonic reference. So Professor Ronald Hindle thinks it means ones who have fallen. But, that also comes back to where we was talking about the ones who have come down or come from heaven. From heaven has come down, right? Because anybody at that time who would have saw things come out of the sky and come down, they would have said, oh, they're coming from heaven, right? So I think you have to look at it in multiple ways too, though. Because you can't look at it the way we look at things today. You would have to get the primitive mind, take everything you understand about flying, about the universe, about, all the stuff we know, take that out of your mind and understand that if you're a person and what you see is all you know in your lifetime, and beings in spaceships or whatever start coming out of the sky, right, and landing and coming out going, what's up? You want a beer? Let me show you how to metallurgy, and right, and what the Book of Enoch talked about, right? The Book of Enoch talked about all these angels who were masters in metallurgy, who were masters in the knowledge of the sky, the knowledge of the stars, the knowledge of all these different things, right? And that's what he was taught while he was gone, right? When he was taken up, he was taught all these different things, and from all these beings.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if these beings come down and start teaching you this, quote unquote, we'll call it forbidden knowledge, right, of metallurgy and everything else, then you're going to call these people gods. Well, they're going to come from heaven, right? Because you're going to say they came down from heaven. Or some people are going to say they're the fallen ones, right? They're falling down from the sky. So if you take your literal mind and you take everything you know about this world out, would that not be what you'd come up with? This is just a question, just something I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
Jeff says life finds a way. Roy says both. I'm not saying. Let me get back to my chat room because I don't know where they both are here. Roy says, "Speak for yourself on sterile." Jeff says, "Love finds a way." LOL. Oh, life finds a way. LOL. Life does find a way. But I don't know. I think that if you look at it in those terms, though, that it could have a completely different meaning, right? Now here it says in the Hebrew Bible, Genesis 6, 1 through 4, right? So this is just before the flood story. It says the Nephilim were in the earth in those days. And also after that, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men, and they bore children unto them, the same were the mighty men that were of old, the men of renown. I know we've actually said that scripture more than one time before.
Yeah, I've said it.
Yeah. So, Numbers 13, 32 through 33, it says the 12 spies report seeing giants in Canaan. If you remember, that was before they came out of the desert. Their 40 years, they sent the spies into Canaan to make sure it was okay for them to go in there. And what they say, oh, there's honey, there's huge fruits, but there's giants there. So, giants. It says, and there we saw the Nephilim, the sons of Anak, who came of the Nephilim, and we were in our own sight as grasshoppers, and so we were there in their sight. So, and there you see it. You even see where they talk about Anak, and I wonder if that is Enoch or Anuk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awful
close.
Yeah.
Very. Especially when you're talking about one that's a much older story than the other. In the book of Enoch, you have a following passage that describes the Nephilim as descendants of the Watchers. So it came to pass when the children of men had multiplied, and in those days were born unto them beautiful and comely daughters. And the angels, the children of the heaven, saw and lusted after them, and saw to one another, and said to one another, hello. Come, let us choose us wives from among the children of men, and beget us children. And Samjes, who was their leader, said unto them, I fear you will not indeed agree to this deed, and I alone shall have to pay the penalty of a great sin. And they all answered him and said, let us all swear an oath, and all bind ourselves by mutual imprecations not to abandon this plan, but to do this thing. Then they swore that they together and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it. And they were all 200. So there were 200 of them. Who descended into the days of Jared on the summit of Mount Hermon. And they call it Mount Hermon because they had sworn and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it. Says this passage continues with the names of the participants, and then it continues. Then they took wives, each choosing for himself whom they began to approach, and with whom they cohabitated, teaching them sorcery, incantations, and the divining of roots and trees. And the women conceiving brought forth giants, whose stature was each 300 cubits. These devoured all of which labor of men produced, until it became impossible to feed them, when they turned themselves against men in order to devour them, and began to injure birds, beasts, reptiles, and fishes to eat their flesh one after another, and to drink their blood, their flesh, one after another. What's funny about that is that it almost goes back into even the Native American stories talking about the giants, where they would come down out of the mountains and snatch up women and children and stuff to take them back and eat them.
Yeah. I've heard that a couple of times that they were
Cannibalistic.
yeah, cannibal.
Yeah. Pretty crazy. So if you put stock in the book of Enoch, you think that you have to accept that the Nephilim is a hybrid children of mortal women and fallen angels. And the book is pretty clear and specific on this point. So why is there controversy? Well, angels are traditionally seen as sexless beings. So in theory, they should be incapable of procreation. Of course, we may not know all there is to know about angels, and perhaps fallen angels are different. Maybe their sins reflected not just a change in their actions, but also a shift in their nature. All of this is supposition. But there was likely quite a bit of that going on when the holy books were originally penned anyway. Yeah, supposition. That's what he's saying was going on. I think that they were physical beings. That's just me. You know, I think that they were.
I'm there with you.
Are you?
Yeah. I have a big problem with believing it's anything else.
Me too. Yeah. It's it just seems, I don't know, almost impossible. Implausible.
I mean, they're just two different stories. One told one way and one told the other.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like two people seeing an accident and telling two different stories about the same accident. Yeah. The problem I have with one of them is that, like, one of them was pretty far removed from the actual story.
Yeah. One is a little older than the other.
Yeah, by quite a few 100 years. 1,000 years or so. Better. So, yes. I believe what you're saying is true.
You know what they've nicknamed Planet X?
What's that?
The Goblin.
The Goblin?
Yeah.
Ooh, what is that?
It has an elliptical orbit around the sun, too. Well, actually, this is a small dwarf planet that they found. It's not a larger one. So there's another one. The discovery of the Goblin, a small dwarf planet officially called TG 387, has been tracked by telescopes since 2015, and astronomers have now determined just how extreme its orbit is. It's currently located about 80 AU from the sun, which is an astronomical unit, is the average distance at which Earth orbits the sun, or nearly 2.5 times farther away than Pluto.
Wow.
So at the fastest point in its highly elongated 40,000 year orbit, that's a long way out.
Yeah.
It reaches a whopping 2,300 AU, which is over 200 billion miles, or 340 billion kilometers away.
Wow.
So they've just found this. And who's to say that, you know, Nibiru ain't there?
I think Nibiru exists.
Yes, yes, yes.
It's an awful weird thing for a 6,000-year-old culture to know about all the orbits and everything of all the planets in our solar system, and to have this one that we refuse to talk about. But science knows that there's something out there, way out there, because they could see the effects of it on the sun and the other outer planets.
Yeah, well, maybe with the discovery of these smaller things, because they're saying that the planets that they're discovering, or their dead stars, whatever they want to call them, are controlled by something.
Right.
Which is probably a big, huge planet.
Yeah.
So, I think they're like breadcrumbs leading to Planet X.
Very possible. I mean, if they broke up what is now the planet that would be in our asteroid belt,
Yeah.
last time it came through, then why wouldn't it have done it to some other planets or some other bodies as it's gone back out or back in at some point during its revolution? So why wouldn't it have some trailing behind it stuff to where it would be like a breadcrumb?
Mm-hmm.
That would make sense to me.
Yeah.
If it had a great enough pull, it could literally pull some of these objects with it. Right?
Yeah. I think so.
So while you're learning about the Anunnaki, you're going to also stumble across a lot of different proper names for various gods and goddesses, one of which is Anu or An. Many of these names are similar and can easily be mixed up. So if you do not take the time to learn the Sumerian family tree, first thing is first, in case you are still quite new to researching the Anunnaki, you need to understand the basics before proceeding. So depending on whom you are speaking with, the Anunnaki may refer to either a set of Mesopotamian deities or space aliens who interacted with ancient cultures here on Earth. You decide. The mainstream view, of course, only recognizes the Anunnaki as fictitious Mesopotamian gods, or those who support the alien theory equate the two, but disagree with the fictitious assertion. So their belief is essentially that the Anunnaki are real, literal beings, and that what the ancient people of Mesopotamia referred to as gods, we would call today aliens.
I'm not going to say it, but I think it is aliens.
I think it's alien. I do too. Yeah. Now, one of the most important Sumerian gods is the Sky Father An, known interchangeably as Anu. Right? I'm going to throw this link up here for everybody.
They were actually 4 main gods. An, Enlil, Ninhursag, and Enki.
Yep.
And the earliest Sumerian literature of the 3rd millennium BC identified them as the 4 main gods.
Yeah.
Or deities, whatever.
So Anu, or the god of the sky. So there are a number of Sumerian tablets and texts which discuss Anu, but not all of them agree on every aspect of his existence. The earliest texts available, for example, do not explain where Anu come from, as if he was simply there. Later texts, however, state that he was the son of two primordial deities known as Ansar and Kesar.
Ansar and Kesar.
Yeah. As the great father of the sky, Anu holds the highest position in the Sumerian pantheon, at least in name. In terms of power, he eventually shares his authority with Enlil and later Marduk, who is also in some ways ends up surpassing him. Marduk, yes.
I've heard that before, too.
Yes. In the Sumerian creation myth, the heaven and the earth were originally joined together. Anu had two consorts, Antu, or the great mother of the sky, and Ki, Mother Earth. He had children by both of them. With Ki, he had Enlil, Lord of the air and the earth, and Ninkersag, Lady of the mountain. With Antu, he sired Enki, Lord of the earth and waters. These are all very prominent figures in Annunaki mythology. Note that there is some confusion over Ki's identity. Ki is rarely mentioned in the Sumerian text and is unclear who she is and whether she is worshipped as a goddess. So Enlil cleaved apart the earth and the heaven after he was born, separating the two forever. Ki and Enlil assumed direct authority over the earth. Anu held court in heaven. Pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
So Anu depicted, I'll share this link in the chat room also. So this is Anu depicted in winged disc of Nibiru, comes to Earth where expedition men in wetsuits greet him. And what's funny about this is that you see men with scales and stuff, and Nibiru is shown as, when it's in its closest form, as this winged disc. But in its further form, if you look behind Anu, or actually on the far left, where it shows this star, like 8-pointed star, that's at its furthest distance. So kind of shows where it is. It's pretty neat. And you could see these symbolisms in a lot of ancient cultures. So, as in one example in the poem Inanna, and Inanna is one of the first gods. She was a female, but she went through the same tribulations. So she was born, persecuted. She was killed, and she rose 3 days later.
Okay.
She was the first deity, or the first person that was ever, a first story ever told like that was of Inanna. A lot of people don't know that. After that,
I didn't know that until just now.
After that, only men were done that way. And this was done time after time after time before the story of Jesus or anything else. And then, we won't get into all that, but it's pretty cool. Read about Inanna if that's fascinating to you. In the Babylonian creation story, Marduk, or son of Enkill and Marduk, son of Enkill and Daminka, rises to the key position of power among the Annunaki. And when he does, his might is legitimized through a declaration among the gods. Your word is Anu. The phrase can be found in lines 4 through 6 of Tablet 4. Pretty neat, huh? So this is quite extraordinary when you think about it. Anu's power is so deeply respected that in many ways Anu has power. It is very easily read, your word is Anu, as your word is might, or something similar to those lines. That was essentially what it meant. Pretty neat. So, the primary proponent of the Anunnaki theory was a Russian-born American writer named Zecharia Sitchin. Sitchin had some fascinating ideas, but to the mainstream detractors, he was notoriously horrendous translator. That's all you ever hear about him in it. Mm-hmm. In his book, The 12th Planet, Sitchin translates Anunnaki as those who from the heavens came. I think that's pretty fair. Like we just discussed a minute ago, right? And people want to say the fallen ones, but what's the difference between the fallen ones or the ones who came down from the sky? What do you think, Jason? Mm-hmm. I know you have something to say.
No, I'm listening.
Oh, well, do you want to take a quick break? Because we are 30 minutes from done.
Ooh, yeah. Let's take a quick break.
Okay. So we're going to take a quick last break. This will be our last break. And we'll make this one a very quick one. And we will be back in just a few minutes. Right, Jason?
Oh, yeah.
And so remember, this is Paranormal 411. You can visit us at paranormal411.org. Sign up, become a member. It's free. Doesn't cost nothing. And tonight, and as always, your hosts are Jason and David. We'll be back right after this quick break.
In a world on the edge of oblivion, go to paranormal411.org for all of your paranormal, extraterrestrial, and cryptid needs.
Thanks for listening to the show. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter at Paranormal411. Join us on the website at paranormal411.org. It's free to sign up and become a member. All of our upcoming shows are on the guest and events page. You can also listen to past shows on the website as well. And if you like the show and want to support us, you can do that by becoming a premium member for only $2 a month. Thanks for listening to Paranormal 411. Join us.
This is Jeff Reagan of the band Catalyst. Visit Paranormal 411. Click on our link on the right-hand side to listen to or purchase any of our albums on BandLab.
I woke up this morning, lit a cigarette, my head still spinning with all your regrets. I should have known all along it was gonna end up like this. You've been calling all night on the telephone, I wish you would just leave me the hell alone. There's so many things about you, baby, I don't think I'm gonna miss. Oh, but I know. It's just a matter of time until I will find some sweet little angel that'll live off of my mind. And I'll
All right.
Woo.
All just a matter of time.
It's all just a matter of time. Thanks for Jeff and Catalyst for allowing us to use their music because, man, it makes the night go by great.
Yes, it does.
It's awesome. And, you know, if anybody's in the Knoxville area about April 15th, come and see them because they're great live. They sound just like you just heard. Literally, they do. Been listening to them for years. Good friends with Jeff, Chris, and a lot of them in the band. And they're really good guys. They'd love to come out and sign a T-shirt for you because I think they're going to have some T-shirts for sale. I think they're going to have some albums for their CDs for sale. And I know that they'd be happy to sign them for you. So definitely come out and check them out, right? It's going to be a good night.
Oh, yeah.
I think we're going to be there. I know I'm going to be there.
Yeah,
Jason going to be there?
Try to, yeah.
Jason's going to be there because I want to force him to be there. Well, it's going to be a great night, though. So if you're in the Knoxville area, Knoxville, Tennessee, definitely come out and check them out. Be worth the show. Right, Jason?
Yes.
So, remember we're talking about Nibiru. We're talking a little bit about the Annunaki, the Nephilim, some Zachariah Sitchin. And we're going to be wrapping it up, everybody, because, hey, it's only a 2-hour show. And we're down to the last 30 minutes. You know, this whole thing about the Nibiru takes 3,600 years and so to complete one orbit and everything like that. When is it going to come back?
Well,
you know, because people have been speculating about this for a long time. It's going to come back at this time, or it's going to come back at this time.
I think at the last, it was supposed to be around 2012. I mean, maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought that was kind of.
I think that was the hype that was thrown around to 2012.
Yeah, it may have been.
And the ending of the Mayan calendar, which we did a pretty good show that night.
Yeah,
I don't think we have it up anymore, but maybe we'll throw it up in the. Do we still even have it? Probably not. Huh?
probably not.
Yeah, that sucks because that was a good show. I was going to say we could throw it up in the members section for the members. I think that'd be pretty cool. But you know, a lot of people have been saying that they've started seeing this planet.
Actually, I think the last time it was supposed to pass through was maybe the flood. I don't know.
The last time was supposed to be something like that, wasn't it? But see, that's 13,000 years ago. So if it's only a 3,000-year orbit, it would have had to come through at least 3 more times after that. 3,600-year orbit. 369. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're talking... should have came 3 more times after the flood.
Yeah.
But we know that the last time that they left was like 3000 BC, right?
Yes.
So then it should have put it somewhere around the time of Christ, or just quickly after that it came by the last time. Because they would have left when it would have been at its closest apex to Earth, right? You would have thought. So if that's the way it goes, then it wouldn't be due back till 3000 something. Maybe almost the year 4000. In the year 4000.
We won't be here.
Unfortunately, not in this iteration.
But we may get to see it. I mean, you know, we're just going to be complete energy. roaming around somewhere.
We'd be able to know all, though. We might be able to attach into the Akashic records at that point.
Oh, yeah.
So we'd know everything. All the questions man has always asked. What is the origins of the universe? Where do we come from? We would know it all. I'm not saying go kill yourself now to find these answers, okay? Because you may become an earthbound spirit. We've had guests that's come on and talked about that.
If you step to the left, you're earthbound.
Yeah.
If you go to the right,
Follow the light.
then you're either going to be reincarnated or you've learned all you need to learn and you're going to where you need to go.
You're going to go party. It's going to be a 24/7 concert. All the mead you could drink. It's Valhalla. That's where I'm going.
I've been watching Vikings all week.
Have you? Heck yeah. I like Vikings. Skull.
So, it's been a pretty good show.
Yes. I think it's been pretty formative. The problem with this is maybe we'll have to try to break this up into segments.
Yeah.
Because to try to talk about everything in one night is almost impossible. Because to talk about Nibiru, you have to talk about the Annunaki. To talk about the Annunaki, you have to talk about the origins of the Annunaki story. Then you've got to talk about the biblical tales about the Annunaki, because that all ties in. And you've got to talk about all of that. Then you've got to go into the Sumerian text of it all. And it's more than just a 2-hour show.
Oh, yeah. And plus, we're kind of used to having guests.
We are. Yeah, we're sorry, people. We're going to have to start.
We got to get some guests on here.
Yeah, we'll have to start making some phone calls and getting some more guests back on. But I'm kind of erratic with my work. And so I'm trying to become more stable. So we'll blame it on me. It's my fault. It's David's fault. As far as the ability of not always being able to be here on a Friday. So, but, we will get some more guests in, and we're also going to maybe start calling up some of the guests we had on last year, because we had a hell of a lot of guests last year, and trying to maybe get them back on. What do you think, Jason?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Sounds great.
So everybody, I hope that you enjoyed, what we did talk about Nibiru, about the Annunaki, and, sorry if it felt disjointed, but there's a lot that you have to talk about when you talk about Nibiru. You can't just say, hey, Nibiru is a planet that may be coming by and destroying Earth or messing with Earth's orbit or messing with whatever, without also talking about the, ancient Sumerians and what they believed and what, their tales, I guess, are of who the Anunnaki are. And then that just opens up everything else as far as who the Anunnaki are. And we want to definitely give the full field, right? We don't want to just say from one side. We want to try to tell it from multiple sides if we can, right? There's multiple stories to tell, so tell them all. You believe what you want to believe. It's, that's your choice. We just throw out the information.
Just throw it out there.
Throw it out there. It's like a boomerang. The problem is it comes back and hits you in the head sometimes.
Yeah, if you think it's funny, laugh.
Yeah. We do.
What are these guys talking about?
What the heck is this? Go look it up for yourself, though. It is pretty fascinating. And I will say, if you're really fascinated with this stuff, definitely look up Zachariah Sitchin's books. He has 7 books. They're called the Earth Chronicles. And they're really good books.
I've got a fact here.
Let's listen.
a planet called Nibiru, although, you know, it's not associated with Earth's doomsday, it was featured briefly in a 2013 Star Trek film.
Yeah, it's good. Into Darkness.
Into Darkness.
Yeah. That was so funny. What was funny, though, is that they placed the people as being very primitive.
Yeah. It was a primitive...
Yeah, Captain Kirk got in trouble.
Yeah.
He actually got let go of being captain of the Enterprise at that time.
Wow.
Because he interfered with the primitive species.
I wonder where they got that story from.
Right. Right. Someone was saying, hey.
That's just pretty funny to me that they would do that.
Well, you know, some people say that information is slowly released.
Yep.
Through movies and other ways, right?
All right.
So again, I hope everybody loved the show tonight. What did Roy say? Showing your age, Dave, with the album comment. Right, I am. Were you around when the 78 was out? 78. I don't know.
Yeah, surely you were. You had to have a adapter.
Oh, yes. I had them. Matter of fact, Convoy, the song Convoy.
No, you have to have an adapter for the 45.
The 45 is what I had. Yes.
There was, 78 to 33 and 45.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yep. I had the 48 of Convoy.
I had the 45 of the Bee Gees.
Did you? Staying alive.
Queen.
Wow.
Had two songs, one on each side. One was Another One Bites the Dust.
Yeah.
Can't remember what the other song
I remember
was.
being young and singing that song.
Boom, 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 boom.
It's catchy.
Boom, 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 boom.
It's catchy. It's a catchy song. So, but, you know, we want to thank everybody for joining the show tonight. Everybody that's going to listen later when it podcasts out. And we also want to thank all of our premium members. You all make this very possible. Everybody does. You know, everybody that listens, everybody that participates, everybody that comes in and joins us, and like Roy and Jeff and everybody that comes in, and Shell, and, you know, you make comments and even make fun of us. It's all right. We love it. Right? It's interaction.
I bet Roy was around when they invented the dadgum phonograph. What is it called?
Phonograph?
The one that's got the big speaker coming out the top of it.
Yeah. Say, you know, I used to know a bunch of like
You had to crank it.
old jokes like, you're so old that you saw rainbows in black and white. Or how about this one? You're so old you had a Jesus starter jacket. Or you're what was another one? There was quite a few of them I used to know. It was, yeah. Anyway, you know, that's Wait. No, I failed at that career. No. But you're so old that when God said, "Let there be light," you flipped the switch.
Oh man, that's a good one.
Click. Anyway, that's enough with the old jokes. But
Yo mama. I could do some yo mama jokes.
yo, mama's so poor. I saw her kicking a can down the street the other day. Asked her what she was doing. She said, moving.
Oh man. Now you done went and talked about Reggie's mama.
Yo, mama's so fat she wore a Malcolm X jacket. Helicopter mistook it for a landing pad.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, that's terrible. Sorry. Now we're telling jokes at the end of the show. What the heck? And bad ones at that. They're not even good jokes. But
I like the your mama jokes.
Roy said there was 78s, 33s, and 45s.
And you remember that first one, Roy, that you got at Christmas time, the phonograph.
Eh? Sonny? What?
All right, we're gonna get off here.
Yep. So, again, thanks everybody for tuning in, and we're gonna go out of here, and we will see you guys and gals and aliens, because we know you're listening, next week. And hey, more people need to join in.
We're gonna try to get a guest for next week.
Let's do it. We'll do it. Catchy will make you $1 million.
Well, thank you very much.
Uh-huh. Elvis just left the building. So, but yeah, again, I want to thank everybody for joining in, and we'll see everybody next week, and have a good night. This is Paranormal 411 with your host, Jason, David, and we'll see you next week. Have a good night.
911, what are you reporting?
We got someone or something crawling around out here.
Did you see what it was? Was it a person or an animal or?
I can't tell. All I know is that my central light came on and I just happened to glimpse and see this thing running across the yard. A good-sized man or something. Looks like a man. I don't know what it was. Just that it ran across the yard.
Okay. You've had problems in the neighborhood before?
Yeah, my dog was killed here just recently. I don't know what it was. Whatever it is, it's running. I couldn't catch it if I was going to chase it. But whatever it was, it was standing up. I'm out here looking through the window now and I don't see anything. I don't want to go outside. Jesus Christ, you better...
Sure.
Dio,
Hello?
get somebody out here.
What's going on now, sir?
That son of a bitch is about 6'9". I don't know.
Do you see him now, sir?
Yes.
You're listening to Paranormal 411. Coming to you live from an undisclosed location deep within the Appalachian Mountains. Bringing you the unknown with your hosts David Reagan and Jason Scott. Paranormal 411.
Thanks for listening to the show. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter at Paranormal411. Join us on the website at paranormal411.org. It's free to sign up and become a member. All of our upcoming shows are on the guest and events page. You can also listen to past shows on the website as well. And if you like the show and want to support us, you can do that by becoming a premium member for only $2 a month. Thanks for listening to Paranormal 411. Join us.